If people always seem bored around you, it's probably not because of what you say. Rather, it boils down to a couple of habits that have been ingrained since childhood. So, when you're little, of course, your brain's really malleable. Now, when it comes to whether you're boring or not, it's the same as everything else. If your parents act a certain way when you're growing up, when you're little, even after that, when you're like a teenager, your parents' behavior can still influence how you end up behaving and what sort of person you end up becoming. So, if your parents are boring people, or they were boring people when you were at that age, then you will most likely become a similar person to them. Now, of course, you can change this. You can change pretty much everything in your life. But what I'm trying to say is that is like, it's like your base, right? It's what you've got to work off of. And some of those things, they're very hard to change. You can still do it, but they'll just take more effort because you weren't naturally raised that way. So, what defines a boring person? Well, I believe it's two things. Number one is being controlling. So, planning for everything and not really having any spontaneity in your life, right? Because spontaneity is fun, right? If you had every single day of your life meticulously planned out and you followed it perfectly, then you'd have a pretty fucking boring life, wouldn't you? Now, I've put a big emphasis on that because a lot of things in life happen that you can't plan for. You can't plan for someone in a random country walking up to you and starting a conversation and you end up becoming lifelong friends. You can't plan for that. And you can't plan for that, especially if you were never meant to be in that country in the first place. What if another random person walked up to you, or you had a conversation with a random person, and it just so happened that they were traveling and they had to spare plane ticket, and you didn't really have anything going on in your life at the moment, even with your perfect routine, so you said, fuck it, I'll take the plane with them and I'll go with them. You take the plane, you go there, you're in a brand new country that you've never been before. Everyone around you speaks a language that you've never heard in your life. And then you meet that strange person. The person who ends up becoming your best friend ever. So, if you had been super controlling, would you have taken that opportunity? You probably would have, honestly, but it depends on how controlling you are. So if someone's like at the extreme end of the spectrum, right? They don't take any opportunities. They stick to their routine 24/7. They don't do anything else in their entire life. They've just got this one routine. Honestly, I doubt that anyone ever has done that. It's just like, what the fuck? Like, that's just fucking, I can't imagine that. Maybe someone has, but I can't imagine that. So that person who just planned for everything, never took any opportunities, they're most likely pretty boring. Because they don't really have any stories, right? And they don't have that zest for life that you get when you take opportunities and do spontaneous shit. It just doesn't happen. Now, the other thing that makes a person boring is it's just taking shit too seriously. Like, before I recorded this video, I made a funny noise because I felt like it. There's nobody home. I feel great. There are some, like, baby chickens out there. And I made the funny noise and they all ran inside. And I laughed for like 30 seconds straight. You've just got to do fucking random shit like that. Like, if you're taking life seriously, bro, you don't laugh randomly. People don't do that. So many people are just so absorbed in everything. They think everything's so serious and important. And they just lose that childlike humor and playfulness for life. Do you want that? Do you want to be that old man sitting in a cafe drinking his coffee and reading a newspaper? His wife divorced him 20 years ago and all his kids don't respect him. Do you want to be that guy? Fuck no. Who the fuck wants to be like that, honestly? That's just like a lonely, sad life. You don't want to be like that. But that's the path that you're headed for if you keep being this boring cunt. If you just take things too seriously. Like, have some fun, bro. It's not that deep. It really isn't. I don't watch the news anymore. I stopped watching the news quite a while ago because it causes a lot of stress, and stress is bad for you, of course. And in addition to that, it's just kind of stupid. Like, I mean, I don't really need any of that information. Yeah, my parents say that they need to know what's going on in the world. Fair enough, maybe they do. But honestly, even with them, I don't really think they do. Like, we're just people, bro. We're random people. If you're watching this video, it's like a 99.9999999% chance that you're not some big business owner, that you're not some billionaire whose decisions hang off of what happens in the world. So it's not like you're going to watch the news one day, find out the Panama Canal has been blocked again, and I don't know, maybe you don't trade or something. I'm sure you get my point here. Like, most people probably just aren't at that level. And the thing is that the people who are at that level, who need that knowledge, they can afford advisors. They've got advisors telling them what to do, maybe even people making the decisions for them. So they don't even need to watch the news either. Like, actually, that's probably a lie. I'm sure a lot of them do, just to know what's going on in the world. But what do you think of when you think of one of those big business people? I think of an old businessman sitting in his office with a cigar, and an assistant walks in and she says like, oh, you've got a meeting with so-and-so at this time, and he's like and he just keeps writing because he's like writing some shit. I don't know, bro, but that's just boring. Like, you don't want to be like that. So don't take stuff seriously. Of course, there's a time and a place for everything. Like, sometimes you have to take shit seriously. Sometimes there's an important situation where you've actually got to lock the fuck in and stop playing around like a little kid. But most of the time it just isn't like that. Everyday life isn't like that. At least I hope it isn't for most of you. Everyday life should be a time when you can enjoy yourself and just do random shit. Just laugh at a random funny thought you had. Laugh out loud, bro. Nobody gives a fuck. Even if there are people around you, like, nobody really cares. And as long as you're not, like, retarded, then you'll be able to tell if it's appropriate in the situation that you're in to do stuff like that. Go climb a tree, bro. Go skip down the street. I know it sounds weird, but like, it'll just make you laugh, bro, because it's funny as fuck. Like, nobody does that. You don't see anyone skipping down the street if they're above the age of, like, 5. But compare that businessman from earlier, sitting in his office with his cigar, grunting at the fucking assistant, because he's got a shit life, he doesn't have any fun anymore. Compare that guy to a little kid. Even him, when he was a little kid, bro. Little kids have fun, like every single one of them. I've never heard of any little kids that are serious. So, be like a little kid. Have that childlike playfulness, that humor, the zest for life. It's a gift, bro. I only recently realized this. Like, honestly, I've been way too serious lately. Everything people said, I would take it seriously. I'd think about it way too deeply. And I found out that it just isn't that deep. So, I've been doing some fun shit. I went on a walk yesterday and I saw this big ass tree. So you know what I did? I hugged it. I hugged a tree, bro. And it sounds retarded. Try it out. Report back. So, what are my points again? Don't take shit seriously. And be spontaneous. That's right. Spontaneity is also a fucking gift, bro. If you have the ability to just grab life by the fucking ballsack and take whatever opportunities that come your way, then your life is going to be amazing. Like, it's going to be so thrilling and just awesome. And that spontaneity will also help you get rid of the seriousness that you have. Like, I challenge you today. If it's the middle of the night, maybe do it tomorrow. But don't delay it, bro. Don't delay it more than 24 hours, okay? Seriously. Go out of your house, walk up to a random person, and just start a conversation. Now, depending on how many of you guys are watching this, one of you might, that conversation might change your life, bro. I know the chances are slim, and you might argue the same, but how do you know that that 1% chance isn't you? Like, what the fuck are the chances, bro? It's crazy. But how do you know that you're not that exception? How do you know? You can't. You can't know until you try. So try the fuck out and don't delay this, bro. Because delaying it you're just delaying your life. Nobody wants to do that. I hope you don't want to do that. Maybe you've been absorbed in social media. Maybe you watch the news. Maybe you scroll Instagram every day. I just completely forgot what I was talking about. But have fun in life. Be